Hello everyone, Chef K here. I want to wish everyone a happy new year. We haven't seen each other since last year. So we're going to start off today doing a recipe that is one of my favorite things to make is chicken cordon bleu. So chicken cordon bleu, of course, I'm going to actually show you two different ways. So first place we're going to do is get the chicken ready. And the chicken is, of course, boneless chicken. And I already kind of cleaned it and thinned it out. With this recipe though, you might want to thin it out and make it thinner because we have to actually roll this chicken up. So probably the easiest way to do it is either plastic wrap, or if you have a bigger Ziploc bag and put it in a Ziploc bag. I don't really have a bigger one, so I have just the plastic wrap. So you can see I have it kind of thin already. When I clean it, I thin it out real good. The only problem is I did cut a little bit in the middle, so it has a hole through the middle of it, which might be a little bit of an issue, but I think we'll be fine. So then we just put the wrap over top, and what you want to do is just hit it with a meat mallet, and we're just going to thin it out a little bit more. We don't want to go too thin because you can break through the chicken and make more holes into it. So we're just going to gently tap this a little bit more. Make sure I get that edge. And just make it like about 1/4 of an inch of thickness. All right. So, of course, I have a little meat mallet here, so it takes forever with this little thing. Probably better to have a bigger one, but I don't really use this that much anyway. All right. So we have our chicken thin, and I'm actually going to keep it right in here, so I don't make a mess on the table. So some other things we need for this recipe is ham. So I have ham, a couple slices of ham, and I have some Swiss cheese for this. That's going to be our filling. All right. And then I'm going to do the breading process. There's plenty of ways to do this. You could do it with just flouring the chicken. You could do it coating it with just some butter and breadcrumbs and then just baking it. Actually, the recipe when I started off had it for baking, but I'm going to do it for frying it and then baking it. So just to give you a heads up on this recipe, it does tell you to bake it for 30 minutes, but I am frying it first with the breadcrumb mixture. So it's going to be like about 10 minutes we bake it for this recipe. If we weren't going to do the frying part, yes, you'd probably bake it for about 30 minutes. And the oven, it should be preheated to 400 degrees, which maybe I should be doing that right now. 400 degrees. And also, if we're frying it, we want to have our frying oil, our oil, getting hot already. So I have this hot. All right, have that ready. And so we're going to get going. Okay, again, we got our ham and cheese. So I'm going to start with that. So I know some recipes actually call to lay it right on there flat with the ham and the cheese and then roll almost like a jelly roll style. I don't know. I kind of like rolling it up first, jelly roll, like roll the whole thing up. In other words, right in the ham this way. I just roll the cheese and the ham together and make a roll like that. And then I put it in the chicken. And then I roll it this way. And you can actually use your plastic so you're not actually touching it. And you can tuck these ends in a little bit and roll. And you want it rolled. All right. I'm gonna actually get this one ready to go for another piece. So a couple pieces of ham. We're gonna lay out the cheese, and we're gonna have this kind of ready to go for our next batch. Actually, you know what? I'm doing it a different way. I'm gonna make it a little bit wider for this one. So I'm gonna kind of roll it like that, not like a round. It's gonna be like a little bit flatter, because I'm gonna show you why in a minute. So anyway, so when we do this, I don't know if you guys remember our breading procedures. Of course, this calls for panko breadcrumbs. All right, so panko breadcrumbs are a little bit more coarse. I kind of like to add still my other breadcrumbs, my regular breadcrumbs. These are actually seasoned a little bit, so I'm gonna actually mix these both together and mix them like that. And I don't know if anybody remembers how we do this, if they remember the way we do it. Okay, so the breading is flour and eggs and then the breadcrumbs. So flour is first, and of course you can see this is salt and pepper. I actually found a seasoned flour mixture that's for like chicken wings. So that's why it's a little bit, has like a different color into it. It's like an orangish color. I actually mixed this in with some flour. So that's why it's not my flour is brown. It's just like I put a chicken wing mixture. Like you just dip the wings in that and then fry your wings in this. So I actually made that for and mixed the flour. So that's what we're gonna be mixing, the flour mixture, our eggs. Of course, the egg is just basically our scrambled egg. And then we're gonna do our breadcrumbs. So the order is the flour, the eggs, and the breadcrumbs. So we're gonna do our flour. And I really would rather tuck these ends in a little bit. I didn't really get it thin enough to tuck the ends. I probably could have rolled it the other way and gave me more room, but I'm gonna try to tuck these ends in a little bit. And then we're gonna put our egg into it. And you wanna make sure the ends are done. And then we're just gonna roll and coat our chicken in here. Like I said, I had my oil going already. And I'm gonna make sure I tuck them ends in as much as I can. You could, if you feel like it's not getting enough coating on it, you can actually go back and add a little bit more egg in there, like on the ends maybe, where it needs more coating to kind of close it up. You could do that. I've actually done this before too, guys. I've actually, because it seems like it wants to always come out of the form, I've actually like breaded it and kind of put it in a freezer and kind of just barely freeze it just to get it so it is more firm. It stays in the shape better. So we're gonna put these right in the oil and start frying that. And of course, when you're frying it, you want to kind of take it and watch it and turn it every once in a while too. So we're gonna let that fry a little bit. Might go a little higher, and then I'm gonna show you one more that I'm actually doing. So some people might not want the extra calories from frying. So here's another way you can do this. So instead of the eggs and the bread coating, you could do this. This is why I left the other chicken different. You could actually take your chicken, and I didn't pound it out, but you could pound it out a little bit more. And I'm just gonna take and put our ham and cheese in it, and then I'm just gonna fold it in half like this and fold it one more time. And then I'm just gonna coat it in the flour. And you might wanna pat the flour on there. And then we could just take this and put this in some hot butter. And I'm gonna cook that one. So it's another way you can do cordon bleu too. And of course you could bake this. Like I said, some people might not want the fried type because of the calories. And of course, what's everyone's New Year resolution is basically trying to not eat unhealthy. So, and I know you're probably saying, well, wait a minute, you're putting the other thing in butter. That's actually the fat-free butter.